Hi, I'm AnewZ and you're watching AnewZ. Here are the headlines. AnewZ obtains exclusive photos of the Azal plane, further confirming the aircraft was subject to external interference. Austrian Chancellor announces resignation as coalition talks collapse. Thousands rally for and against arresting impeached South Korean president in Seoul. Thank you for tuning in. AnewZ has obtained exclusive photos of the Azerbaijan Airlines plane that tragically crashed near Aktau in December 2024. The images, including interior shots of the aircraft fuselage, clearly depict signs of damage consistent with external interference, with shrapnel impact marks clearly visible. According to Azerbaijani government sources, preliminary investigations suggest that the aircraft was struck by a missile fired from a Russian Pantsir-S air defense system while approaching Grozny. Earlier, the Azerbaijani transport minister said that a rocket attack had occurred, though the type of missile was yet to be determined. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev stated that the aircraft was unintentionally shot down by Russian air defenses over Russian territory. Aliyev demanded a full admission of guilt, punishment for those responsible, and compensation for the victims and their families. The investigation continues as authorities seek definitive answers. Guatemala has sent 75 more soldiers to Haiti on Saturday to assist in combating gangs that have been on a rise in the country. This is the second contingent of security forces from Guatemala.
75 Guatemalan military troops have arrived in Haiti to reinforce the ongoing multinational security support mission in the country. This is the last group of security forces from Guatemala, following an earlier dispatch of 75 officers, bringing the total to 150 as promised by the Guatemalan government. This operation to fight off the rising gangs in Haiti is led by Kenya, whose mission commander-in-chief expressed gratitude for the additional support.
These reinforcements will significantly enhance our capacity to combat criminal gangs. Today, as we are here again to receive the second and the final group of Guatemalan officers, I extend my sincere gratitude to the government of Guatemala for their support and for demonstrating true solidarity with the Asian people.
The presence of gangs in the country has worsened as more territories fall under their control. With an escalation of violence, thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes. Last month, a group of armed men opened fire at a government press conference, leaving 2 reporters and a police officer dead. The government of Haiti has issued a state of emergency as it battles the gangs that have taken control of much of the capital, Port-au-Prince. Some 10 countries have together pledged over 3,000 troops for Haiti, but few have so far deployed.
Over in the US, Americans across the country are concerned about possible new security threats and attacks as officials implement measures to enhance national security following the recent incidents.
Cities across the U.S. are starting this year with high alert security following the Bourbon Street attack in New Orleans and the vehicle explosion outside a Trump hotel in Las Vegas. Such incidents have caused more fear of threats in a month packed with large-scale public events, including former President Jimmy Carter's state funeral on January 9th and President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration on January 20th. The Sugar Bowl in New Orleans was postponed by 1 day due to the attack, resulting in enhanced security measures with detection dogs utilized at the event. In New York, there was enhanced security outside of Trump Tower, key train stations like Penn Station, and several other venues across the city. Meanwhile, before the anniversary of the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, the FBI released new footage of the unsolved pipe bomb case. The suspect placed 2 pipe bombs near the Capitol before the attack, but police deactivated them. The FBI has received over 600 tips and offered a $500,000 reward, but after 4 years, they still have not identified the suspect.
Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter began his final journey through his home state of Georgia as a casket containing his body departed the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center near his hometown of Plains. Current and former special agents from the U.S. Secret Service carried the casket to the hearse. Mourners holding U.S. flags and members of the Carter family gathered for the transfer, which marks the beginning of Carter's state funeral. A funeral service will be held at the Washington National Cathedral on Thursday, after which Carter's body will be flown back to Georgia for a private burial. A vigil was held in New Orleans where 14 people were killed by a U.S. Army veteran who drove a pickup truck into a crowd of New Year's revelers. The makeshift memorial was adorned with candles, flowers, and victims' pictures.
Following the tragic event on New Year's Eve, when a man drove a truck into a crowd in New Orleans, killing 14 people and injuring 30 others, residents and visitors gathered on Saturday for a vigil to honor the victims. Several hundred people assembled on Bourbon Street, a well-known area famous for its lively nightlife and vibrant music scene. Attendees placed candles, paintings, and 5-foot crosses at 2 memorial sites to pay their respects.
It's important for me to be here, not just me because I'm a local, and the things that have happened, it's just because I know I could have been out here if I wasn't helping my sister out and whatever I had to do for my family at that time. But I know if I wouldn't have been doing that, then I would have been out here myself. You know, either I would have been working or just out here with some friends or whatever like that. So I know it could have been me, it could have been anybody, but we also had a friend named Tasha, and she passed, the tragedy that happened.
Well, one of our good friends, Elliot Wilkerson, passed away in the tragedy that happened on Bourbon Street the other night on New Year's Eve. He was fun to be around. He was a great friend. He was great to hang around with. We had good talks. He always had great advice. Make sure I stayed safe, because whenever I was on the street too, he would be a great sense of like hanging out, making sure I would stay safe. Just great all-around guy.
I feel that people were not expecting this, and to start the year like this, it's overwhelming, and we feel very sorry for all the victims here.
What about families?
The families, people that they left behind. Exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely something that we need to value, right, and understand, and just feel like, I don't know, like sometimes you just come in here and then you say goodbye to your family. You say we'll be here tomorrow, and then you don't. You don't appear the next day. So it's horrible.
On Friday evening, the city released the names of 12 of the 14 victims. All had died from blunt force trauma, according to the official release. A 13th victim, identified by the Metropolitan Police in London, was a British citizen.
Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer said he will resign in the coming days, both as Chancellor and party leader, after talks about forming a coalition government collapsed. Nehammer said his Conservative People's Party and the Social Democrats had failed to agree on key issues. The Liberal Neos, another party involved in the talks, also pulled out on Friday. In September, the far-right Freedom Party won an unprecedented victory in Austria's general election, but the other parties ruled out forming a coalition with the Freedom Party's leader, Herbert Kickl. The collapse of the talks could lead to the Conservatives negotiating with the far right or to a new election taking place.
Political events have come thick and fast in the last few days. To my regret, the Neos have pulled out of the negotiations. However, the People's Party and I, as chairman, still wanted to do everything we could to form a stable and workable government. That is why we held another round of negotiations with the SPO today. Unfortunately, I have to report to you today, these negotiations have ended and will not be continued by the People's Party.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy is expected to appear in court in Paris on Monday, as the trial around a suspected illegal financing of his victorious election campaign in 2007 by the Libyan regime of Muammar Gaddafi will begin. Sarkozy is being prosecuted for passive corruption, concealment of embezzlement of public funds, illegal financing of an electoral campaign, and criminal association. The trial, in which several businessmen and former ministers are implicated, is expected to last until April 10th, at a rate of 3 afternoons per week after 10 years of investigation. The former president became the first in France to be sentenced to a prison term in December 2024 in the wiretapping case. Russia remains Armenia's top trading partner, according to data from Armenia's Statistical Committee, indicating that Russia's exports to the country surged by $5.6 billion to nearly $8.3 billion during the first 10 months of 2024. At the same time, Armenia's trade turnover with the United Arab Emirates grew more than fivefold, reigniting discussions about Yerevan's role as a major conduit for exports of Russian gold and diamonds to global markets. Armenia's domestic gold production accounts only for a fraction of the official figures, further backing reports of Yerevan helping Moscow to circumvent gold trade sanctions the West imposed following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russian forces have intensified attacks near Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine, aiming to disrupt supply routes to Ukrainian troops and encircle the city. Meanwhile, both sides reported downing each other's drones over their respective territories.
Russian forces continue their attacks near the Ukrainian city of Pokrovsk, seeking to bypass it from the south and disrupt supply routes to Ukrainian troops, officials in Kiev reported. Control of this strategic road and rail hub in the eastern Donetsky region could severely impact Ukrainian operations on the Eastern Front, while enabling Russia to strengthen and extend its front line westward. The Pokrovsky direction remains the hottest spot. The Russians launched 34 attacks in the past 24 hours, attempting to breach our defenses south of Pokrovsky, said Viktor Trehubov, spokesman for Ukraine's Kortitsia group of forces, during a national television broadcast. Meanwhile, Ukrainian air defenses successfully intercepted 34 out of 81 drones launched by Russia overnight, according to the Ukrainian Air Force. They noted that 47 drones were lost, referring to Ukraine's use of electronic warfare to divert the drones from their targets. Pokrovsk, home to a key mine supplying cooking coal to Ukraine's steel industry, had a pre-war population of approximately 60,000, with an estimated 11,000 residents remaining. Trehubov said Russian forces are deploying small groups of soldiers to settlements south of the city in an effort to disrupt supply routes. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry reported that its air defense system shot down 10 Ukrainian drones over Russian territory, including 3 over the northern Leningrad region.
Over in South Korea, thousands braved heavy snow in Seoul on Sunday to rally for and against arresting impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. With an arrest warrant against Yoon for alleged insurrection set to expire at midnight on Monday, multiple groups held demonstrations near his official residence, some urging his immediate arrest and others protesting against it. Yoon was impeached by Parliament over his botched attempt to declare martial law on December 3rd and is suspended from official duties while the Constitutional Court decides whether to reinstate or remove him. On Friday, criminal investigators were blocked from arresting him by Yoon's Presidential Security Service and military troops in a 6-hour standoff. The top bidder at a Tokyo fish market has paid $1.3 million for a tuna, the second highest price ever paid at the annual prestigious New Year auction. The prized catch, weighing 276 kilograms, was jointly bought by renowned tuna wholesaler Yamayuki and upscale sushi restaurant Sushi Ginza Onodera for 207 million yen. It is the second highest price paid at the opening auction of the year in Tokyo's main fish market since comparable data started being collected in 1999, with the record being set in 2019 when a tuna was sold for $3.1 million. In tourism news, Turkey, well known for its summer resorts, is now trying to make a name for itself as a unique place to visit during the winter holidays.
Turkey's ski resorts are welcoming many visitors as the country aims to diversify its tourism offerings and promote activities year-round to attract even more guests. Foreigners who visit Turkey often choose Palandöken, a popular ski resort located in the eastern province of Erzurum, due to its affordable prices. Palandöken is one of Turkey's key winter tourism destinations, attracting skiers of all skill levels. It hosts a large number of guests throughout the week, including on weekends. Local and foreign tourists enjoyed the resort's offerings, including skiing, snowboarding, sledding, a snow park, and zip lines. Yunus Kazır, a local visitor, mentions the snow quality in the ski resort was very good, emphasizing that the slopes in Palandöken are enjoyable.
I came to ski. I have fun and enjoy it. Palandöken is very beautiful. I come and ski with my friends whenever I have the chance. I can say that this place is a source of joy in Erzurum.
Situated approximately 20 kilometers from the airport and 4 kilometers from the city center, this destination features 5-star hotels, long international standard ski tracks, excellent snow quality, and beautiful natural surroundings, along with convenient transportation and accommodation for visitors.
Well, that's all we have for you for now. Thank you for tuning in and keep watching AnewZ.